Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Super Breakfast Friends Club. Are you tired?
No.
Okay. The show where we show up and we just kind of do whatever. I'm Mike.
I'm not.
And we have a third today.
Uh-oh.
Steve, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, Steve.
Hi. I'm also not Mike. I think I need to clarify that.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I was about to get really confused.
Yeah. For there's you can't have too many mics. It's just too confusing.
Too many
It's
mics
true.
is the name of my other podcast.
Oh, what does it feature?
Everybody I know named Mike. All
How many
talking
people are
at
there?
once.
All talking at once about different topics.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Play the theme song. We've come back to Shenmue.
That's why we've recruited the likes of Steve, because
Yeah.
I don't know what Shenmue is.
Me and Steve have a long history with Shenmue. I feel like Shenmue was like our biggest bonding experience in our friendship.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you don't agree?
I feel like we were already pretty good friends before
Yeah,
Shenmue.
but that's where we became like super best friends.
That's the trauma bond that cemented you together.
I mean, maybe at this point, I don't even remember what year I played it for the first time.
No, I was trying to remember, or if I even knew, how you got into Shenmue.
Oh, I know how I got into Shenmue.
Okay.
I loaded the game. Now, I saw Brutal Moose
Okay.
stream it, I think. And then after like watching like one stream or so, I was like, that looks cool. I wanna waste my time gambling and
Yeah.
playing video games in a video game.
Operating a forklift.
It's the dream.
That's about, yeah, that's how I thought you got into it. And then when I saw you were playing it, I was like, Steve, I love Shenmue.
Yeah, it probably went. I barely remember what I ate yesterday, so I don't remember how that went. But sure.
I think you streamed the first one on your own, I think. And then I joined you when you streamed the second one.
Yeah, I remember that when I streamed it, a lot of the time you were working at the hotel still,
Oh, yeah.
so you weren't there for a lot.
That's
Yeah.
a long time
Um,
ago.
Yeah, and then at some point, you were. I don't remember. God,
That puts it at 2018 to 2019, because that's what
that
I
makes
worked at.
sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, it's the 25th anniversary of Shenmue,
That's crazy.
because it released, I want to say it released on Christmas Day.
You can say that.
I'm
You might be wrong, but you can say it.
I'm going to look it up, just in case. No, I'm wrong. It released on December 29th.
29th.
The second
the-
Christmas.
No, that's 26. It's the third Christmas.
Okay,
So-
sorry.
I'm in the weird country of the Netherlands where we just stretch out holidays over 2 days for some reason.
To celebrate forever and never work again.
Well, it's capitalism.
Well, we have Christmas
yeah.
and then we have Boxing Day, which is when you fight everyone over Christmas.
Yeah, I mean,
That's why it would have made sense to release this.
I don't know why it's called Boxing Day, but when I was a kid, I was always like, that's when you put all the bad gifts in a box and put them in the attic.
Yeah, probably. Why? Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It has to be something to do with boxes.
Yeah, I thought it was the day that you return gifts that you didn't actually want.
But I don't know if the stores are even open on Boxing Day.
Oh. Boxing Day got its name when Queen Victoria was on the throne. In Victorian times, the wealthy would box up items they no longer needed to give to the poor.
Oh.
So basically, you're saying your attic was the poor? And
Well,
the
we
rich?
were the poor, so I guess...
No, the attic, because you put it in a box and then in the attic.
Yeah, there was nobody poorer for us to give it to.
No, the attic.
Yeah.
But we never received anything from the rich. Bring back that tradition.
See, because you were rich.
No. Oh.
The things that you receive from the rich, you put in the attic, you ungrateful swine.
This
is episode 2, which is called Daybreak.
Yeah, I don't know why.
No, me neither.
They broke the day, obviously.
It makes no sense. Like, I was thinking about it earlier today after I watched it. I don't understand why they call it Daybreak. It doesn't make sense.
No, I don't know either. But to be honest, the episode titles of this entire show are just feel like random words they picked out.
I mean, the first episode was called Thunderclap, and that I can see that one because there was like the stupid ass nobody can touch me fighting scenes.
Yeah,
and he was doing. I'm pretty sure he did a Thunderclap,
maybe.
which I think you learn like way later in the game, which is odd that he used it.
Wait, is Daybreak a move from the game as well?
I mean, maybe, but I'm pretty sure that future, dignified, distinct, entangled, and guidepost aren't moves from the game.
All right.
He's gonna use his guidepost attack.
Oh, that's not okay to say.
So this aired on February 13th, 2022 on Crunchyroll and on Adult Swim's Toonami block. And we, as well as playing through the games together, we watched this show together when it first came out, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I feel like we watched the first episode and then we took a long break and then watched all the rest at once.
No, I think we did split it in like multiple times, but we did watch. I just mostly remember us watching an episode and then going through the comments. And then being just entertained about the comments because there was a handful of people who just fucking loved it, 10 out of 10 best anime, because it was like, you know, Shenmue, and there's not a lot of Shenmue out there in the year of our Lord 2022. But then there was also just a whole group that was just like, this is fucking stupid.
That sounds like every anime ever.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember that I remember that there was like one specific comment that really made us laugh, but I don't remember what it was.
I feel like it was somebody who we looked into their profile and they were like in their 40s or 50s or something. And
you really did that deep stalking on an internet random.
And they were going through
funny.
every show and like bitching about every show because their favorite show got cancelled.
Oh no.
And it was, and the show that they were angry got cancelled was some really generic looking like school romance thing, I think.
I'm trying to go to the fucking called
Crunchyroll?
the reviews or whatever, but I can't get to the written ones. I can only see like a generic text or a number.
Maybe this guy got them removed.
The entire website.
The show opens up and there's lightning, and I'm assuming that tree that we're looking at is Shenmue itself.
That makes sense to me.
Shenmue's a tree, in case that wasn't clear. It doesn't become clear until the very end of the second game.
I have very fond memories of that tree.
Yeah.
For a very specific reason that has nothing to do with the tree.
Do you want to tell the story?
I mean, we can.
It's safe for the show. Go ahead.
So I was streaming Shenmue 2 with Mike, and there was like, I don't remember how long it was, but the end of Shenmue 2 was a very, very long cutscene. And it was a lot of characters walking towards something, so we were just chatting. And I told a story about once when I was on holiday in the camper next to us, there was this weird-ass child who at some point just walked out of the caravan completely naked and fucking yelled like really loudly at his mom, "Mom, I need more ointment on my penis." And then it was just quiet in the stream, and we were just like, I was just talking to like be entertaining or whatever you do. And then out of the blue, at like the peak of this fucking long cutscene where it's like finally you get to the destination, you get to the tree, Mike goes, "If I had to put ointment on my penis," after like a super long silence, and it fucking killed me. It was so fucking funny.
I've watched back the clip. I feel like we couldn't find it last time we looked for it, but
yeah, no, I couldn't.
I've seen it again since, and it makes me laugh because this whole period of silence as the tree's being introduced, Steve is like making jokes, and I'm not responding at all.
Yeah, no,
you're
it was
just
complete
thinking about
silence.
this random child.
And they're like saying stuff and not getting any response, and I feel like it was like, at first, maybe you thought that it's because I was watching the cutscene. And then after a while, I finally say something and you realize it's actually because I was thinking about that story the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. At least now I know you well enough to know you weren't paying attention. You were just processing the penis talk, but, you know.
Right, never assume that Mike is paying attention.
No, exactly. That's the thing that I've learned over the years.
No, what it is, it's an ADHD thing where I've learned this is common, where I am listening, but the stuff you have said gets queued up for my brain to process.
You need to stop perpetuating this myth, because when I am in that same state, I haven't heard a word you said.
Well, I learned recently that Aaron from Game Grumps does the same thing, and Dan is like amazed at his ability to process what he'd said like 10 minutes after he said it. Because my brain does the same thing.
Anyway,
so there's a recap of the first episode, and I'm glad this was here because I kind of forgot. I know the beginning of the game very well, but I kind of forgot that the show did it slightly differently.
I appreciate it because it's been like a year and a half since we watched this show.
Yeah, it sure has. I don't think Landy really talks to Rio at all in the game. I don't think he tells him anything.
No, I don't think so.
I think he just knocks him down and leaves.
I feel like in the game, Landy is a lot more mysterious for a lot longer than it is in the show.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just this figure that did something to your dad, and then you learn as you go through. And in the show, it's a lot more, I need to find Landy.
Yeah, he said some stuff I didn't like.
Yeah, I need to find Landy, the Shiyu man, because he killed my father, Iwao.
Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, does Rio even know his name by this point in the game? I don't think he does, actually.
I don't think so, no. I think it takes quite a while in Shenmue 1 at least before you get to the name.
I think you're right.
Maybe at the point where you meet, what's he called, Chai?
Chai, yeah, maybe. But he's already met Chai in the show.
Yeah, Chai was like creeping somewhere. Well, Chai's always creeping somewhere.
Chai's all over this episode. It's so funny because in the game you meet Chai fairly late, and he's like the most bizarre thing that happens up to that point, and he comes out of nowhere. But this show gives him a lot of build up. So
what if the whole time in Shenmue he's creeping in the shadows and you just don't notice?
Well, I
he's
think
like
he
the
was.
G-Man.
No, I think that is what it is. I think he is following you the whole time, but in the game you have no idea about it.
Yeah, that's probably it. I mean, if they were to just drop him in like they do in the game, in the show, it would have been very strange for people who don't know Shenmue.
It's very strange.
Just all of a sudden, there's this fucking golem-looking guy with a bizarre laugh that just yells and tries to fucking murder a child.
Burned into my memory the Brutal Moose reaction to it when he was streaming the game, because Chai shows up and Ian just goes, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's the only good reaction, honestly.
The only appropriate reaction.
But yeah.
So this recap was Ryo having one of his nightmares, one of his trademark nightmares, which he has every time you go to bed in the game.
What a haunted existence that man lives.
I think he just needs some sleep medication.
Oh, yeah.
He needs to smoke some weed, get rid of those dreams.
I mean, yeah.
I think that might make him more paranoid.
No, but if you smoke too much weed, you don't dream anymore.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that part.
Just don't sleep.
Yeah.
Now we go to Bailu Village, where Shenhua is walking her lamb. This is all Shenmue 3 stuff.
Yeah. It really was really odd when I watched the episode today that I was like, oh, we're again with Shenhua in Bailu, because like you don't know fucking shit about her until like game 2.
I know, and because this show doesn't go all the way to Shenmue 3, it only covers Shenmue 1 and 2, so having all this stuff, throwing in all this stuff that actually came along like 20 years later alongside all this stuff from 1999 is really jarring to me, but
it's confusing for me, who doesn't know anything about Shenmue.
Yeah.
So yeah, Shenhua, she's walking through the town. She greets Zixiong Su and Mingyang Lei. I hope I'm pronouncing those right.
I think you did a great job.
The characters you meet in Shenmue 3. And she's on her way to visit Elder Ye, the blind lady, who she doesn't talk to you for a long time in Shenmue 3.
You have to appease her for some reason.
Yeah. And all the kids gathered around her are all from Shenmue 3 as well. You play hide and seek with them. So that was cute, seeing them.
I mean, it makes sense. That's the people in Bailu Village.
Yeah, there's not many of them, I guess.
No.
Elder Ye is played by Sanae Miyuki, who is known for playing Botan in Yu Yu Hakusho. And she played Teru Teru in a couple of Kero 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 P films. She played Shami in Super Dimension Fortress Macross, and she played the Autumn Spirit in Magical Princess.
No.
Minky Momo.
No.
Minky Mama. 오네가이 기대. Minky Mama. 오네가이 기대. 마호의 princess.
What's her Minky number?
Well, I guess it's Shenmue's Minky number, right? And now we've established that Shenmue has a Minky number of 1. I couldn't find out who plays Elder Ye in English. It doesn't seem to be listed anywhere, so I got no idea. If you know, leave a comment and let me know.
That's so weird to be this contemporary of an anime and they just don't cite the voice actor.
I know, there's a couple of them. It's probably because whoever did her voice also voiced a couple of more important characters, so they got listed instead. That would be my guess.
I guess.
She tells the kids the legend of the dragon and the phoenix, and Shenhua recites the part about a person appearing from the east. It's funny that they're getting into like the supernatural prophecy stuff this early, because in the game, you don't hear any of this stuff until the end of Shenmue 2.
Right, they trick you into thinking it's like a normal, grounded thing.
Yeah, slice of life anime.
Yeah.
And then you reach the end of Shenmue 2 and suddenly there's a magical sword floating around.
I hate when that happens. Another slice of life anime ruined by a magic sword.
Yeah, there was a lot of people who were upset by it, apparently, when Shenmue 2 came out. The handful of people who actually made it to the end were apparently really angry.
I love that for Shenmue.
I think Shenmue 3 toned it down a little bit. I don't think the sword floats anymore in the Shenmue 3 version.
But it does talk.
It has arms and a top hat.
Instead of floating, it's being held up in the air by a bunch of little magical dwarves.
Now that's an acceptable level of fantasy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the Hazuki residence, Ryo's standing at his desk and it's covered in gacha toys from the game. I was really glad to see him.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I saw Tails, I saw the 16-ton weight from Fantasy Zone, and I saw one of the random polyhedrons that I'm always angry to get.
Is it not a die?
No, I don't think so, because there's no numbers on it. It's just
It's not even marked,
shape.
it's just a polyhedron.
Yeah.
I would be angry too.
Yeah, it is there are some shitty prizes in Shenmue, honestly.
Yeah, some of the gacha capsules have real stank in them.
Just like real life.
Yep. And yet, you still spend like 25 out of the 30 hours of gameplay doing gachapon.
Yeah,
Right, because you want the good one.
trying to collect the full set of chairs.
The chairs. I love the chairs moment in Shenmue 3. It was great. We were talking just in general about gachapon, and I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like chairs. And Mike was very adamant that there were no chair gachapon, and then I looked in the game and just happened to find one where you get fucking chairs. And I've never felt so
Validated.
yeah, I've never felt so validated in my life.
Yeah, then didn't you spend like half an hour just buying chairs?
Yeah, of course I did. Every
That's the
sensible person would.
Right, it's the only acceptable outcome.
I just have this memory of you being like, "What's this one? It's a chair. What's this one? It's a chair."
I want to play that game again. God.
So this is the airmail letter addressed to Ryo's father Iwao, who was killed by Landi of the Chiyo Men. That's a quote from the game. This is the letter from Yuanda Zu. Oh my god, that name gave me flashbacks. Like, so much of the first two games are all about trying to find Yuanda Zu.
Yeah.
We're just trying to find someone to read this letter first.
I know. Yeah, but that's why in the second game you go to China. And that's why you go there. You're looking for Yuanda Zu. Because even once you read the letter, it's like, all right, what did he mean by that?
That didn't clarify a single thing.
So we get a flashback of Ine-san giving Ryo the letter, which arrived just after Iwao's death. It seems to be in Chinese, and none of them can read it because they can only read Japanese. But it's the only lead that Ryo has, so he has to go search for someone to read it for him.
And that was good. Google Translate in the 80s.
I was really glad that we actually see him investigating in this one, because in the first episode, all the info just falls into his lap, and it really annoyed me.
That is like the general thing in this show. I feel like in the game, you very much have to find things out by talking to people and going to places.
Yeah, and that's the fun of it.
And a lot of it in the show is just, oh, I happen to overhear you talking about this. Have this piece of information, which is exactly what you need.
Yeah, that's what happened in the first one. They're sitting in the restaurant, and then that guy at the next table is just like, oh, did you say Landi? That sounds like he's with the mafia. It's like, that's like an hour of investigation in the game.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to condense 2 video games into a single anime, it would all be investigation by that logic.
Right. But
but at the same time, what they did with the anime is they very much put the first game into like 2 or 3 episodes, and all the others are Shenmue 2. There was like they really kind of rushed through the first game.
Yeah.
I feel like.
I think that's a shame, because the first game is the one that has all the people that know Ryo, because it's his hometown.
Yeah.
And we don't really get to spend any time with those people. I'm still angry. I know we talked about it when we did an episode on the first episode, but I'm still angry that we never see Tom again for the rest of this show.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, I'm always angry if I don't see Tom. If it's in real life or the game or, in my dreams, I always want to see Tom.
Yeah.
Woken up to another Tomless morning.
Yeah, it makes me sad.
Yeah, I was so happy that you can call him on the phone in Shenmue 3.
Yeah, Tom is honestly a great character. Just a good, like, comic relief kind of character because he's just so chill.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Just you're running around trying to find out about your dad's murder, but you can always count on him dancing in the street,
Yeah.
trying to sell his hot dogs.
I'm always grooving, man.
So I prefer the way that this episode does it, where, because, like, you're right, Mel, they do have to condense it for the show, but this episode condenses it by showing us montages of the investigation rather than just have him happen across the information without
Right. I
it.
understand needing a middle ground between those two options.
Yeah. I don't think that we should have to see the entire investigation in detail. But, like, what we do here is, this is the part of the game where you have to search the town for Chinese people to read this letter to you.
Right.
And we see a couple of, like, the key people that he talks to in this part of the game. We get a little montage. We see him at the Ajichi Chinese restaurant showing the letter to Tao and his wife. And then it cuts straight to him showing it to Liu Gonghui. In the game, you go and speak to his son, who's a barber. And then his son is like, oh, my dad just got out of hospital. Why don't you go try him? And you until you've had that conversation, you can't find his dad because he's in hospital. But then he spawns in after his son has pointed you towards him. And then finally, we see him at a Chinese bookstore trying to translate it himself with a dictionary. And that doesn't happen in the game, but I thought it was funny.
It's cute.
Yeah, it's just him really trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Though the visual of him trying to translate it is very funny because it really looks like he's just like paper, book, paper, book.
I don't understand. I'm combining these two items.
It's not like he's trying to actually find something in the dictionary. It's just like looking at both items and being like, well, damn it. I still don't know.
Use paper with book.
I can't combine them in my inventory.
This is where Nozomi shows up. I still can't get used to her looking like this. She doesn't look like Nozomi to me in this show.
I was like, she looks weird, but I don't know why. And then I also listened back to like the first episode you guys did. And you talk about it, and I was like, oh, it makes sense with the backstory why they changed her, but also why the fuck did they change her?
I think, we talked about this last episode. In case you don't remember, Mel.
I sure don't.
My theory is that they have redesigned her to look a bit more Western because she's supposed to be, I think, mixed race, and she's half Canadian.
Okay.
But in the game, she looks very Asian. And I think they've redesigned her a little bit to look a little more like she could be half white, I guess.
Right.
She asks to help him, and he actually agrees to it, which he never does in the game.
I mean, she even makes a comment, like, she even says to him, "You're terrible at asking for help."
Mm-hmm.
Like, she just gives him a burn, and then she's like, "Okay, I'll help you now."
Yeah, because in the whole game, she's constantly throwing herself at Ryo, trying to get him to let her in and help, but he's always just like, "No, that's okay."
I mean, I feel like there's a different personality
Ryo definitely
for Ryo in the game and in the show, because in the game he's very much, I'm gonna do it myself, and like very awkward. Like there's a very awkward energy about like every fucking interaction that this guy has, and in the show he has a little bit more social skills.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely, because in the way I've always seen the first game is that the story of the entire first game is him not following his father's last words, which were keep your friends, those you love, close. The whole first game, he's like pushing everyone he loves away from him, and I think that was deliberate. And then it's the second game where he starts to learn to actually let people help him, and that's where you start building friendships with like Joy and what the fuck is his name? Ren.
Yep.
They're in the opening, but we haven't met them yet.
Yeah, we haven't met the forklift either.
No.
I'm so excited for that episode.
We see Chai stewing over losing the fight, and this episode doesn't catch up to the point where you meet Chai for the first time in the game. I'm assuming when Chai stops being in the shadows, creeping and a peeping, that's when he shows up in the game.
Yeah.
On his way home, Ryo walks by Suzume Park and he spots Yamagishi reading in there. And Yamagishi wants to visit the Hazuki Dojo and burn some incense for Iwao. I don't think you've met Yamagishi by this point in the game either. He's got a much bigger role in the show than he does in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you see him in the first episode as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's just to, like, establish him as a character already.
Yeah.
Because he's like, you know, the father Ryo never had, even though he had a father, but he's dead now.
The father Ryo recently lost.
Yeah, exactly. Because he does kind of take that role.
He takes a little bit of Ine-san's role, I feel like.
Yeah, we don't get enough Ine-san.
No, she's barely in the show. In the game,
Yeah.
she's the one who's constantly like, oh, don't pursue this, Ryo. Just have fun with it. But
Here's your allowance. Don't be home too late.
be home by 11. Don't talk to any sailors. But there's none of that from her in this show.
Maybe she's still on the ground.
Maybe.
What?
In like the first episode, at like when Ryo arrives home, she gets pushed to the ground or something. Like when you arrive, she's on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Basically, so in my head, she's just still on the floor.
Checks out.
Nobody picked her up.
No, she got up to take that letter from Yoanda Zoo and give it to Ryo, but then she went and got straight back down on the ground.
Yeah, she just laid down again. Mailman
be
looking
over
like,
here
what
if
the
you need
fuck
me."
is she doing?
I'll be over here until someone helps me.
I'm gonna teach her some manners, damn kids.
Neither of the... They're not both kids. I guess Fuku's an adult. Neither of the layabouts who live here have helped me up yet, and I'm going to stay here until they do, but I will get up to do my chores.
I mean, Ryo is an adult here too.
Well, he's just turned 18, I think.
Well, that's an adult.
Yeah. Or is he 17 at this point?
No, he's 18 in
Okay.
the show. Because they mention it, and I was like,
Oh, yeah,
What?
yeah.
how is he 18
'Cause,
already?
you know,
That
it's-
feels weird.
It's not mentioned in the show, but isn't Iwao killed on Ryo's birthday?
I don't remember.
I think it's on his birthday, or it's the day after his birthday, or something like that, I think.
I mean, maybe, but no, I don't remember.
Well, anyway, Ryo starts asking Yamagishi about his dad's past, because I guess he gets the sense that Yamagishi's known him the longest, but he hasn't known him that long. He's only known him since he moved to Yokosuka, so I guess he's known him about as long as Ryo has. But Yamagishi tells him to leave his dad's past alone and focus on getting his life back to normal, which is a really horrible thing to say.
I mean, he's like very helpful at first, like answering questions, and then when he learns that Ryo's like, I'm gonna take revenge, he's like, okay, bye, get your life together. Like, then he cuts it off and leaves.
Right. We just watched the Tekken stuff where we learned that revenge is going to eat you alive and turn you into a demon.
Well, only if you sell your soul to the devil. I don't know.
I think Ryo would do it.
You do? I don't know that you would.
I think
Maybe Ryo is the devil.
Yeah. Maybe he's going to be the villain of the next Tekken.
Maybe.
I would. That's honestly, that would be a reason for me to buy Tekken. I would never ever buy Tekken, but if Ryo is the
Ryo's
main
in
bad
it,
guy,
I
I
would.
will get Tekken.
Me too. No, I just think the phrasing of like focus on getting your life back to normal is really insensitive because his dad died. His life's never going to go back to normal. He has to
No,
find a new
but-
Yeah,
normal.
but you know,
Yeah,
it's,
pursuing revenge is not a new normal, I think is what he's
Maybe it
getting at.
is.
It shouldn't be.
Oh, well.
Refer again to Tekken.
Is there a revenge story that works out?
sure, yes, there is.
Is the Lion King a revenge story that works out?
No, because he doesn't become king.
Yeah, he does.
Oh wait, Simba
does.
wants revenge.
Yeah.
I thought Scar wanted revenge just because he's a cunt.
I'm gonna. If anybody can think of a revenge story where revenge is a good thing, let us know in the comments. I'm curious.
Megamind.
Uh,
Maybe? Is there revenge in Megamind?
Does
Probably.
he do a revenge?
Yeah.
I feel like he's cleaning up his own mess in Megamind.
Yeah, well, that can be revenge on himself.
I suppose.
Take that,
Get
you
back.
big-brained weirdo.
I'm gonna get back at myself, the outgrown weird big Smurf.
He's an
That's
alien.
just self-destructive.
Well, who says the fucking Smurfs aren't aliens?
That's a good point. Has anybody asked?
Gargamel made the Smurfs.
Oh, no, he made Smurfette. He didn't make the
Oh.
others.
They just kind of showed up.
Yeah, I don't know what their deal is, now that you mention it. I don't know enough about Smurf lore.
Smurf lore. What if I just type Smurf lore into Google? Here are some details about Smurf lore.
There is an alien race in the lore of the Smurfs, and they're called the Swoofs.
Are the Snorks aliens?
The Snorks aren't in the
just-
Smurfs.
They're
I think the
basically
Snorks are just water creatures.
Yeah, I think they're just
They're like sea
weird
monkeys.
seahorse.
Okay,
monkeys.
like SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Yeah, SpongeBob's a sea monkey, sure.
but SpongeBob is the result of nuclear testing, so...
That sounds more like an Adventure Time plot than SpongeBob.
No, that's SpongeBob. SpongeBob
What?
is set at the bottom of the ocean around Bikini Atoll, where all the nuclear testing was done in the 50s. That's canon.
Anyway, Shenmue.
Anyway. So Rio gets a flashback to Gong Hui telling him about the Chinese mafia in the first episode. And he heads to Bar Yokosuka, where the staff are familiar with him. We aren't told any of why the bartender knows his name, because he's too young to drink there. But in the game, it's because this is Fuku's hangout spot. So they're all familiar with Rio. We only see one of the staff members here, which is the bartender, Teruhiko Saijo. I like this guy. He's a good source of information.
Yeah, he's not a dick like the other one.
Yeah, he's friendly.
Well, you have to be a certain level of dick when you work at the shadiest bar in the area.
But there are bartenders you can speak to all over town, and this is the only one who will speak to you. But I think it's just because he is friends with Fuku, so he's nice.
Yeah,
to
probably. And it's also, he doesn't work in the shadiest bar. That's where he tells us to go.
That's true.
Right, he's in a classy establishment.
you.
Yeah, like he tells Rio to go to Heartbeats, which is down a graffiti sprayed alley.
Yeah.
Right. Go down to Getting Stabbed Alley and find your answers there.
Saijo is played by Takahiro Sumi, who mostly had additional voices credits, but he played Lieutenant Nakanishi in Sword Art Online and Ray Lagoid in Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway. I didn't know that Anne Hathaway had a Mobile Suit Gundam, but now I do.
Can't wait for that movie.
In English, he was played by Jack Stansbury, who plays Grandpa Lu Longzhou and Sebal in Genshin Impact. And he plays Ragnar in Ragnar Crimson and Aquamarine Hoshino in Oshinoko. I don't know any of those things.
I know.
All of this sounds
Oshinoko.
like complete gibberish to me.
That's okay.
Don't you play Genshin Impact?
Yeah, but the last thing doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I don't know Grandpa Lou from Genshin Impact. I thought of Rugrats.
That was my first thought as well.
I wish it was the voice of Grandpa Lou. I'm pretty sure that's Dan Castellaneta.
Oh, that could be Rio's bartender friend.
So Rio's asking Saijo about sailors. And I'm so sad that the search for sailors is so truncated in this show.
It is one of the very... It's like in the top 3, I feel like, of memorable things.
It's the big
if you
meme.
play Shenmue 1.
It's the big Shenmue meme. He's looking for sailors.
Yeah.
I feel like because it's the point where so many people got stuck and gave up on the game. Yeah, we go straight to Rio, heading down the alley towards one of the most infamous QuickTime events in the whole game. Because you have to do a QuickTime event in the alley to get to the bar, And then you have to do another really long one in the bar. I think it's the longest one you've had to do up to that point.
You're just immediately accosted by shady hooligans.
Yep.
Yeah, because you're not of age.
Why are you getting beat up by giant muscle men then?
It's not only that you're too young to be there, but it's also that you're going to like the criminal bar as well.
You gotta prove yourself. It's the salty spittoon.
It's like that SpongeBob episode.
I just love you in the game. You walk up to these two thugs in the alley, and Rio's just like, "You guys sailors." This is all really accurate as well. Like to the actual scene, it looks exactly the same. The sign looks exactly the same. That alley even has the Berkeley graffiti, which is a reference to the game's code name, which was Project Berkeley. And Rio gets confronted by the two thugs, Tony Abrams, the white guy, and Smith Bradley, the black guy. You could tell they're supposed to be Americans because they exclusively speak English.
They don't exclusively speak English. In this scene, they do.
Well, yeah, okay. But, like, they're supposed to be Americans. They speak fully English in this scene, and but they do it with a really heavy Japanese accent.
Go on. Hey, you!
Yeah, I know from the game that they're Americans, but in the show I did not feel like, oh, these are Americans.
Yeah. Well, you never even learn their names in the show, so that's the other clue.
Yeah, no, they're really just throwaway characters. Quite literally, because Rio tosses them through the alley.
Yeah, all the fights are so easy for Rio in the show compared to the game.
Yeah.
In the game, he felt much more like a real person doing these fights. In the show, he's a Super Saiyan, tossing people around like ragdolls.
The show also just makes it look like a very action-packed fucking thing.
Yeah.
Where the game is just not, like, it's anything but action-packed. Because it's like, you literally spend the entire in-game day, which is like 20 minutes or something, standing in front of a door, because you have to wait until it opens. But in the show, he beats up fucking people left, right, and center.
I want to see that episode where you're just standing outside all day.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, looking at your watch occasionally and being like, oh my god, does time go slower when I'm not looking at the watch?
It's like that Space Ghost episode where he followed an ant the entire time.
That's a great episode. So Tony Abrams is played by Hiroaki Okuda, who mostly did additional voices and stuff. He played Rikiya in My Hero Academia, though. In English, he's played by Mike Yeager, who played Shiroe in Log Horizon and Ironbeard in Bodacious Space Pirates.
Ooh.
And Smith Bradley, who I think had his names reversed at some point and they didn't notice. I wonder if his name is supposed to be Bradley Smith.
They just listed it the Japanese way, got confused.
Yeah, but they didn't list Tony the Japanese way, so I don't know. He's played by Akihiro Tajima, who also played Tom in the first episode of this. And in English, he's played by Malcolm Farrell, who... What the fuck was that?
Played by Malcolm Farrell, who nobody knows.
It's the ghost of Malcolm Farrell, who's probably still alive.
Had a weird noise. Malcolm Farrell didn't have really any notable roles, so I wrote down one of them, which was high school bully in Cocaine Sisters.
Cool.
What the fuck? What did you just say? Jesus Christ.
He played high school bully in Cocaine Sisters. What are you not getting?
Okay.
Duh. Critically acclaimed Cocaine Sisters?
Oh, he also played in This Shit Is Different.
Oh, well, I guess it's different from Cocaine Sisters.
Purpose Over Prison. This man has a fascinating resume.
Yeah, what you found?
I mean, there's Tijuana Jackson, Purpose Over Prison. Then there's the Dirty Third, Next Generation as Crypto Kid.
Oh yeah, I saw that one. But
This Shit Is Different.
I didn't think it was as interesting
Cocaine Sisters as High School Bully. So
yeah, Cocaine Sisters. My favorite superheroes.
Nickname: Ms. or Mizzy. There you go. Now you know everything you need to know about Malcolm Farrell.
So yeah, Ryo beats up Tony and Smith and then heads inside, where the customers make fun of his age and the bartender asks him to leave. But then things get rowdy when he starts asking questions. And this is like basically one-to-one recreation of what happens in the game.
Yeah, even the comment about milk.
Yeah, I think the only difference is in the game, I think they actually slide a glass of milk down the bar to him when they say that. Because I remember the guy being like, "Here you go!
Yeah.
Milk's perfect for a schoolboy!" But the guy with the hat pulled down over one of his eyes, I remember him so clearly.
Yeah, I feel like this entire scene was very true to the game.
Yeah. The bartender gives Ryo the name Charlie on the condition that he never comes back. And in the game, if you come back in after this, you get some of my favorite conversations in the whole thing. Because it's just this bartender yelling at Ryo to get out, and every time Ryo just responds, It just continues yelling at him. It's really funny.
You here again? You busted up the place last time. Didn't I tell you not to come back here? Get out of here. Shut your trap and disappear. How many times I gotta say it, stupid idiot? Enough.
Another one of his iconic voice lines.
Yeah. I see. My two favorite things that he says in the whole game.
Yeah, it makes for such funny, awkward moments. Great.
So, the next day, we have a montage of Ryo's investigation to find Charlie. And we see him talking to Goro Ono outside the Knocking Bike store. This is another guy who knows Ryo already. I'm gonna guess probably because one of Ryo's friends has a motorbike.
Wow, he's friends with the cool kid.
Yeah, well, that's the motorbike you borrow at the end of the game to be a motorbike guy with no helmet.
Wow, spoilers.
Oh, it's been 25 years. If you haven't played Shenmue yet,
yeah,
you're never gonna.
Yeah, what are you about to say about me, Mike?
You're never gonna avenge your father at this point.
That's okay. I have not chosen the route of revenge.
Yeah, you haven't played Shenmue yet because you don't agree with the message.
The philosophy. That's right, I've taken the moral high ground on this one.
Although you can play Shenmue and just choose not to do anything about finding your father's killer, I guess.
That's true. I can just play gachas all day.
You can just play, you get your allowance from Ine-san and do what Ine-san wants you to do, which is spend all day playing arcade games and buying gacha toys.
Easy. What a great video game.
Yeah, don't tempt me. I'm gonna replay.
Play it the proper way, the Ine-san way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Ine-san route. I don't know, because I know eventually there's an ending that you get if you play. I think you have to play all the way through to like February.
And you've never done it?
No, I've never done it. I've always solved the mystery. I've never played that long. My story always ends before Christmas. I've never played all the way to February. We also see him talking to Shiro Kurita, the owner of Kurita Military Surplus. I remember this guy very clearly because he's always standing outside his store wearing his military fatigues. He's not actually a military guy. He's a spoiled rich kid. But
I feel like a lot of people who wear like army type or army print clothing are not actually in the army.
Yeah.
They're just kind of cosplaying.
Yeah, I think he's only a little bit older than Ryo, so. Then he arrives at the tattoo parlor, which Takashi Takahiro runs out of his apartment in Okayama Heights. And in the game, this is where you meet Tony and Smith for the third time, because you get to the tattoo parlor and they're there getting a tattoo, but then Ryo comes in and they're like, oh shit.
Are they getting matching tattoos? That would be so cute.
Maybe.
They got an infinity symbol on their wrist.
Also, in the game, when you get here, Charlie is here, and you actually find him successfully. But in the show, there's nobody here. But after Ryo leaves empty-handed, Takahiro gets on the phone and calls Charlie. Or calls Charlie's gang, I guess.
I have to mention the way Ryo stands when he's closing the door.
I know. I know.
is so funny because, like, it kind of looks like he has a fucking beer belly because of the shadows and stuff. Like, his head is down like he's standing in the pouring rain being sad.
Right.
And he just stands there closing the door.
I definitely read it as like oh, there's nobody here. But I wonder if it's supposed to be him, like, politely bowing before he leaves. I don't know.
It does not. But, I mean, if it's politely bowing, they need to, you know.
Yeah, it definitely didn't
fucking bow and see what how that looks, because it just looks weird.
Yeah, I read it as a sulk. For sure.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I also read it as like, no, god damn it. it's just funny how it looks like he has a fucking beer belly to me.
Okay.
The heck was that?
That was me rolling my chair back to the desk. I'm sorry.
Wow, what the fuck?
I rolled it away to peek in the kitchen because I heard a noise.
The car
Are you still worried about that goddamn ghost?
Yeah. I'm going to be worried about ghosts for the rest of the night now.
Just draw a circle with salt around your computer chair.
I don't have that
and
much
sleep
salt.
there.
Well, I've also got food out that I'm going to cook later. I washed
You're worried the ghost is going to get into it?
Yeah.
Ectoplasm everywhere.
I washed some lettuce for wraps earlier, and I'm leaving it out to dry. I'm hanging it out to dry.
Good story, Grandpa.
Yeah, thanks.
Fucking telling us about your lettuce washing fucking routine. Jesus Christ.
Well, I don't just eat raw lettuce like an animal, Steve.
You will, though.
I will.
The fact that you wash it doesn't mean it's cooked.
I like to boil my lettuce.
That's cabbage. I don't know if I've ever eaten cabbage, actually.
Have you had coleslaw?
Not willingly.
Yeah, well.
That's still a yes.
Who has?
So we're in a warehouse at the docks now, and Charlie's gang are warning him that there's a kid asking about him all over town. Charlie Grant is played by Kentaro Ito, who played Choji in Naruto. He played X in Mega Man X4. He played Chester Barklight in the Tales series, and he played Renji in Bleach. And in English, he's played by Blake Shepard, who we know because he played the main guy in that one Halo Legends episode that we watched before. The kind of wiener guy.
Those words make sense, but I don't remember anything about that episode.
That was the episode where there was a bunch of soldiers and they were basically being babysat by a Master Chief type person.
No, I remember that, but
Oh,
I don't
okay.
remember any of the goons that just are there.
Oh yeah, he was the main goon. the smallest and weakest of them all.
The gooniest of the goons.
Isn't the main goon a cat breed?
Yeah, that big cat, the main
Yeah.
goon.
Main goon. Yeah, that's the one.
Majestic creatures.
They're so big and pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like me.
Okay.
So Charlie's worried that Chen's gang are after him. We won't know what that means for a while. And now Rio gets approached by a crying child who says that some guys took his soccer ball and they won't give it back unless he takes Rio to them.
I love that their gang activity is to steal a soccer ball from a child.
I know, it's so...
And it's like a very, very small child, too.
Yeah! He's like 7.
It's like barely a toddler.
Yeah, this child is Gaoen Ji, who's played by Mari Hino, who played Toma and Sherry in The Promised Neverland and Shushu in Chained Soldier. I don't know what any of those are, but this is another one where I couldn't find out who played... I couldn't find out who played Gaoen in English, so if anybody knows, tell me.
They probably couldn't be bothered to list it because it's like 3 lines and that's it.
Well, he's in another episode as well.
Ah,
So
our favorite character will return.
Yeah.
And he'll have his soccer ball.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out if he does.
So Rio goes to Charlie and tells him he wants info about the Chinese mafia. And Charlie takes this to mean that Rio is working for Chen. And he sends his goons to beat him up. But Rio kicks their butts. Too easily. I want to see the struggle. In the game, I struggled so much.
That sounds like a skill issue.
In the game, you mostly have the same moves that the people you're fighting are, at least at this point in the game. So, like, they're hitting you and you're just hitting them back the same way. But this Rio controls the wind.
The Avatar.
In the game, Charlie takes Gawain hostage in the confusion, and then you, I think, do a quick time event to kick the soccer ball in Charlie's face, which is cooler. But Charlie just runs away in the show.
We can't endanger children.
He throws the soccer ball at Rio, who catches it with one hand like a cool guy, and then sees him run away like a little bitch.
Yeah, I've never seen somebody catch a soccer ball with one hand.
I've also never seen a soccer ball be thrown that fucking fast.
Yeah,
because it's like a fucking rocket, and he just threw it.
Yeah, if this show was more realistic, that soccer ball would have come at Rio's face, and Rio would have put his hand up, and then the ball would have like bounced a mile in the air, and Rio would have been like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, or he just thrown the soccer ball, but like not fast enough, so it just kind of falls awkwardly in between them and like bounces and rolls off.
Yeah, but yeah, this is kind of a dead end on the Charlie thing in the game. I don't think that Charlie shows up again for ages in the game. You do this little bit and then you just kind of like drop the investigation for Charlie for a long time. I don't think you ever look for him again. I think he comes at you one more time later on. But he's a dead end. Charlie's a pointless endeavor that you have to go on.
Wow. Charlie has feelings.
Charlie,
you better watch out. He's gonna steal your soccer ball.
I don't have one.
And then throw it at you really fast.
I don't have one. Did Charlie already take it? Oh.
Yeah, I think he already took
Clearly.
it.
All right, well, I didn't know I was supposed to get it back, I guess.
You better guard your head every time you leave now.
But with Charlie out of the picture, we're back to the letter investigation. And we're outside Game U, the arcade, where Rio and Nozomi are showing the letter to Guangxi Wang. Remember this guy? The thirsty guy?
I mean, I do remember him. You can't skip over Chai fucking
the
moving
shadowy
again.
presence.
Oh, well.
Because there's like Charlie runs off, and then Rio does like this weird like action movie pose and just stands in like this weird pose for a bit while the camera moves past him, and then you just see Chai in the back next to like a scooter being like
Told you, he's like the G-Man. He's always there. That's why you missed him.
I would have loved it if that was the case in the game. If like you could spot Chai watching you in different inaccessible places every now and then through the story.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that. No, Mel, you won't know about Wang because you haven't played it. But here I
don't know a single thing that's happening in this anime. You keep naming all these people in these places. I'm like, who?
So Wang here is like crouched by some vending machines and he's holding a soda. He's the guy in the game who every time you find him, he is standing staring longingly at a vending machine and wishing someone would buy him a soda. Because apparently he doesn't have like the 1 yen 50 that a soda costs.
Yeah.
Maybe he has too much and it won't accept it.
He's been moved way later in the story because, you know, in the first investigation montage of this episode, we saw Rio speaking to an older couple that were running a restaurant. In the game, they point you to this guy. So he's like one of the first places you go because he works for them. But he don't give you any information. You buy him a soda and then he's like, oh, those characters are weird. And then that's all you get from him.
That's information. That means it's not typical Chinese.
Yeah, I suppose so. Do you want to know what it turns out to be?
Is it a shopping list?
No, it's the reason nobody can read it is because it's written mirrored, so you have to hold it up to a mirror to read it.
I knew it.
Right.
He said it was written weird. I was like, oh, well, put it in a mirror, dum-dum.
Right. Now, I don't know if Chinese is different than our Roman letters, but I feel like if you presented me with some text that was mirrored, I would be like, oh, that's mirrored.
If you were familiar enough with the language to be able to read it, you'd probably be able to tell.
Yeah, I feel like the people in who actually speak Chinese will notice that it's mirrored.
Yeah.
But in this show, it's just I don't know.
Yeah. There's a discrepancy as well because in this part of the game and the show, Ryo can't read a word of Chinese, but in Shenmue 2, he reads it fluently.
He had to do something on that boat.
Yeah, and the creator has actually been asked about that, and his response was, "Please don't think about that."
It's a video game, you idiots.
Oh my god.
So Nozomi apologizes for not being able to find anyone. All she found was the thirsty guy that we know of.
Did you see the drinks behind the thirsty guy, though?
No, what was it?
The Ripsy?
The Ripsky? Ripsy?
No, I didn't. That's funny.
It's such... Yeah, I noticed it, it's fucking Ripsy. It's the straight up fucking Pepsi logo.
Because in the original Japanese version of the game, I'm pretty sure they had real brand name sodas. They had Coca-Cola.
Yeah. They had Coca-Cola and stuff, and then for the Western release, it became, I think, Bellwood Cola.
That's right. Yeah, something like that. They took out all the brand names.
But the fact that it's Ripsy is just extra funny to me, knowing that Ryo's dad died. I don't know, it's just someone, Ripsy, your dad's dead, bye.
It took a while for my brain to connect those lines of thought.
Yeah, same.
It's just funny because Ryo's dad is dead, you know?
Yeah, I mean that makes everything funnier in this show.
As Ryo walks Nozomi back to the flower shop, she asks him about university. And I just remembered how this conversation went down in the game, because in the game he's like, I haven't thought about where I'm going, but wherever I go, it'll have karate.
That is a beautiful sentiment.
This flashback Ryo has as he walks home, staring at the letter. He's just trying to read a manga in his room, and his dad comes in and is like, "No, do homework, read this book."
Does he even say it's homework? I feel like he just says...
He doesn't say it's homework.
You should be reading this, and wants to hand him another book, and then Ryo's just okay, and runs the fuck off?
Yeah, well, because he just wants to read his comics.
He's an undisciplined little shit. He needs to learn martial arts.
You can just accept the book and be okay, and then dad goes away. You read your shonen stuff, whatever it was.
Your Naruto.
You don't know Iwao very well, because I am 100% certain that Iwao would stand there in that exact spot until Ryo finished the book.
Yeah,
staring at him.
How dare you say I don't know my man Iwao? He's my brother from another mother.
Yeah, that's a bold fucking claim.
He's played by Segata Sanshiro. Yeah, we talked about that last time.
My hero?
Yeah. Oh, not in this show, though. He's only played by him in the game, I think.
Oh.
So, yeah. But in the game, it's Segata Sanshiro. We go to Nozomi's room, and on her desk, she's got the photo that Ryo carries around with him in the game. It's the exact photo. It's cute. Picture of him and his friends who we never really see.
Just a bunch of losers.
When I saw that picture, I was like, who the fuck are those other two people?
Yeah.
Right.
Because, I can't even, link him to, a character from the game. I was just like, who the fuck is that guy?
One of them is the guy who owns the motorbike that Ryo uses. They are in the game, and we're told that they're Ryo's best friends, but, you're never made to interact with them. So you can go and optionally talk to them, but even then it doesn't... They're just like, oh, hey, Ryo, see you later.
I don't remember them at all.
We only know that they're his best friends because he carries that photo of them around, and he describes them as his best friends. I couldn't tell you their names. I think in the first episode we saw them come to comfort him after what happened to his dad, maybe?
And they were probably in the school when he won his fight.
Yeah, probably. Nozomi gets a phone call from her dad in Canada, which I think is how we learn that her parents are in Canada in the show.
Yeah, that's the first time it's mentioned.
Yeah, okay. She's living with her grandma in the flower shop. what happens next?
We go back to the shady bar.
Oh yeah, we're back in Heartbeats.
Yeah, we go back to Heartbeats.
Where Charlie and his
Charlie's
gang...
talking.
Oh, you say it.
Yeah.
Well, Charlie's talking.
Conspiratorially.
Yeah, and they overhear Tony and Smith talking about Rio and hire them for a job. I just kind of assumed that Tony and Smith knew Charlie from the beginning in the game, but apparently they met here.
That's how shady people meet.
Yeah?
Yeah, in shady bars.
Called Heartbeat.
I feel like that's perfect, though.
I love how incredibly angry these two guys still are. Like, it's been multiple days.
Yeah, they're seething.
They're still mad like it just happened.
Well,
can't stop thinking about that schoolboy that threw us.
well, they've probably just come to Japan from America, and the first thing that happened to them is a little kid beat them up, and now they've spent the whole time hiding in this bar because they're like, Jesus Christ, the kids in this country are wild.
Yeah, but they're still super upset about it.
Yeah, of course.
Like, upset to the point of angry.
Yeah.
Just go beat up another child.
You would think it's out of, like, embarrassment, but nobody saw. And he came in here and beat up every other sailor in town, so it's not like they're the only ones.
It has nothing to do with embarrassment. Their pride has been shattered.
Oh, they were embarrassed in front of each other.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see that? Yeah. Oh.
Let's go get matching tattoos and be bonded together over this.
We're stronger than this. Let's get the infinity symbol on our ring.
Yamagishi's at the Hazuki house now praying for Iwao and talking with Ine and Fuku. It's a shame Fuku isn't really in this show very much, and he doesn't come across as much of an idiot in the show as he does in the game.
He also feels older in the show than he is in the game.
He does, yeah. He doesn't feel...
It feels like in the show he's like 30-something.
Yeah.
Whereas in the show he's like maybe 2 years older than Rio, and he's a complete fucking idiot.
I think in the game it describes Rio and Fuku as being like brothers who are like about the same. I think I would guess like Fuku-san is maybe like 21, 22 because he's old enough to drink, but
yeah,
I bet the wiki says
exactly. He's like a little bit older. He's 26 apparently.
Oh, okay, but he definitely looks older than 26 in the
show. Yeah,
I would say.
Why is he such a dum-dum?
He's just not very smart.
That's sometimes how people are. That's how they're born.
I just wanted an explanation.
So, in the game, Ine-san is being kept in the dark about everything Ryo's doing. It's all secret. But you... And Fuku-san is trying to help, but he has a big mouth. So he keeps accidentally spilling the beans. And some of the ways that Ryo tries to cover it up are really funny. It's like there's a part where you're talking to him and then you come out and find Ine-san standing just outside the door. And she's like, Fuku-san has a loud voice, doesn't he? And Ryo's like, and she's like, I overheard you talking with him. And Ryo's like, I was talking with him?
Fucking gaslighting.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that neither of these two, because this is Ryo's whole family that's left. His housekeeper and his live-in not brother.
Yeah, their ass is all dead.
Yeah, I don't know. Still, to this day, we still don't know anything about Ryo's mom. You can find some stuff that clearly belonged to her in the basement, like tucked away, but nothing is ever.
Yeah, unlike the wiki, there's something about her.
Oh yeah,
as in the name.
Oh, there's a name?
There is a name, yeah. I was, in the meantime, looking up if Daddy died on his birthday.
Oh, okay.
Which I haven't figured out yet, but Mom is called Akane Hazuki.
Oh, okay.
Was the mother of Ryo Hazuki and the wife of Iwao Hazuki. She died of an illness when Ryo was only 3 years old in 1971 or 72.
Okay.
Her name was revealed in Shenmue 3.
Oh, I don't remember that.
It seems to be I'm not entirely sure, but it kind of seems to be a optional conversation that happens. But you can learn it in Bailu Village on the early parts of the game.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. I'm going to have to play Shenmue 3 again.
It sounds like you need to marathon all 3 of them.
I am thinking of popping in Shenmue 3 again, honestly. I want to play Gachapon and find my beloved little mascot that I forgot the name of.
Chobu-chan.
Chobu-chan.
Yeah.
I remember losing my fucking mind for literal hours trying to find it in one shot.
Yeah, so Mel, in Shenmue 3, in one of the... I think it's the first city you go to, or the only city you go to.
Yeah.
All the stores in the city have this...
Wanted poster?
No, it's like a game. There's a game like running through every store, but like not just the stores that are in buildings, but every stall in the marketplace as well has this little chicken figurine hidden somewhere in it.
Okay.
And it's a different color in every one, so it like blends in.
Okay.
It does have a wanted poster though.
Oh yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the challenge is to like find it somewhere in every store.
I love that. It's adorable.
Yeah, it was great.
It's fun. Some of them are really hard to find. And because the color of it changes as well, they blend in really well sometimes.
I can confirm Papa has passed away on Rio's birthday.
Oh no.
I knew it.
It's one of the worst birthday presents you can get.
On your 18th birthday. Congratulations, you're an adult now. Well, I'm off.
Here's the trauma that's going to build you into a strong adult.
Oh, Rio, I have a gift for you. It's my whale.
We go to the arcade now. I love the arcade. It's where I spend most of my time in Shenmue.
I love fucking Game U. It's great.
And the first thing we see is 2 arcade games that were created for Shenmue and which I don't like because they're very boring. QTE title and Excite QTE 2. Ironically, the least exciting game in the whole arcade.
I feel like they might have just made those to like, if you're bad at the quick time events up to that point,
practice, yeah.
It's practice, I think.
Because Excite QTE 2 literally just flashes a button on the screen and you have to press that button. That's the whole game.
Sounds terrible.
Wasn't that the other one as well?
The other one is basically that, but it has, at least there's some visual feedback because it's got the 3 paddles that you punch down.
Right.
Excite QTE 2 doesn't have any visual feedback. It's just buttons flashing.
Yeah, it's just a screen.
Yeah. But we see the Space Harrier and the Hang-On machines in the background, which is what I spent most of my time
God,
on.
I love the Space Harrier.
And more importantly,
Virtua
Fighter.
Yeah, which uses real footage from the game, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
You can't play Virtua Fighter in Shenmue 1, but but it is thematically tied to it since Shenmue started out as a Virtua Fighter game in development. As a poster for Fantasy Zone as well. I love Fantasy Zone, but
yeah,
you couldn't play Fantasy Zone in Shenmue. I spent a lot of time playing Fantasy Zone in Yakuza 0, but it's not in this.
I mean, you can collect gashapons of it.
That's true.
So that's something.
Yeah.
I keep mixing up Shenmue and Virtua Fighter in my head.
Yeah.
So it checks out. It makes a lot of sense.
I mean, we talked, when we did the first one, we talked about how early in development, Ryo was supposed to be Akira Yuki.
Yeah.
This started out as Akira Yuki's backstory, because he doesn't really have that much of a backstory. But then at some point, they decided to make it its own thing, I guess.
And that's how he got the bandage on his face.
Yeah?
They're totally different characters, guys. Mine has a Band-Aid.
Yeah, mine has a Band-Aid where yours has a scar.
Don't ask me what's underneath the Band-Aid. That's against the rules.
This is where Tony and Smith show up and approach Ryo, and this is in the game, this is the second meeting of them, which got skipped over earlier. This happens before you find the tattoo place in the game. And Charlie isn't involved in this. I think in the game they say that they know Charlie and that they're going to take you to him, but then it's just them and all the guys you beat up in the bar jumping you and trying to get revenge. It doesn't have anything to do with Charlie.
Again, revenge.
Yeah, but Ryo doesn't learn anything.
No, it's the bloody through line that makes 3 games happen.
Ryo doesn't drop the letter here in the game either.
Wow, spoilers. He first gets a bin over his head.
I guess it's become extremely windy here, and the wind sounds like it's knocking on the window.
Oh my, still with the ghost.
I know.
It's not going to touch your lettuce.
It's not going to touch I love that Yamagishi happens across the scene just in time to see Ryo win the fight and give an impassioned speech.
Yeah, he missed the part where he had the bin on his head. Yeah. That would have been funny to watch.
That was my favorite move out of all of these. Like, he's being attacked. They're, like, kicking over, like, giant metal beams, swinging with bats. And then there's just one fucking guy who's like, I can put this bin on his head and give him a kick.
I wish Yamagishi had wandered up just in time to see that. Just peeked in and just seen Ryo with a trash can on his head. Just been like, oh, God.
Oh, fuck. I told him to get back to a normal life.
It turns out it wasn't for any morally superior reasons. He just knows that Ryo can't win these fights.
Oh, the alternate version of this show where Ryo is incompetent at fighting.
Misses all the quick time events, stumbles.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I guess you can live that reality in the game. Just fail every quick time event.
Yeah.
Chai's watching again, of course. He likes to watch.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's very much of a voyeur.
So after Ryo gives his speech, Charlie tells him about Landy and warns him about him. I don't think you ever get any information out of Charlie in the game, especially not about Landy.
I mean, in the show, Charlie is just like, he realizes that you're not with the Chen plan. And then he's like, oh, all right, well, you've beaten the crap out of these people like multiple times, and now I have a bloody nose. So how about I just try to be buddies with you?
I do kind of like that once Charlie realizes Ryo's not with Chen, he's like, oh, I shouldn't have done any of this.
Yeah, he's like, all right, okay, well.
I'll tell you what you want to know. As he walks home, Ryo sees Yamagishi in the park again. And this, I think, is the conversation you have the first time you meet Yamagishi in the game. It's like the only time I remember talking to Yamagishi in the game. When he's like, I was having a drink with your father. And Ryo's like, huh? My father's dead.
You crazy old man. What do you mean?
In the game, all Yamagishi does here is teach you a move, I'm pretty sure. But in the show, he also points Ryo towards the Russia-China shop to get the letter translated. In the game, it's actually Gaowen who points you there. When you save Gaowen from Charlie, he's like, my grandmother owns this antique shop. She can read your letter.
I'm glad you gave more context, because I've seen the show, I've played the games, and I had no fucking clue who that was.
Gaowen was.
Yeah, there's so many names that I just like.
I know. It's difficult, especially when it's unfamiliar, like culturally unfamiliar names.
Yeah, it makes it harder, but I honestly, if they were called Bob and Frederick and whatever, I would also not know.
No, fair enough.
Right. It's just the sheer volume of people that
there's a lot of characters. And also a lot of characters that only show up for like such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Right.
That they're not memorable enough to like stick in my mind.
You spend a lot more time with them in the game. Because I think, is Gaowen the kid who's always like, let's wrestle? And Ryo's always like, no.
Is he asking to wrestle? I thought he was just like, let's play.
Maybe.
He wants to play a game.
Maybe I'm thinking of it. There's a kid somewhere who keeps asking Ryo to wrestle with him, and Ryo's like, some other time.
I will break every bone in your body. You fragile, tiny little child.
Right, the kid's like a 5-year-old.
No, what if Ryo did wrestle the kid, and he actually did just like fight him the same way he fights anyone else? Immediately, this kid is like, in seconds, has a broken leg. And everyone's like, why did you do that? And he's like, what? What do you mean? We were having an honorable battle.
He wanted to wrestle.
He asked me for this. He had it coming.
He issued a challenge, and I wasn't going to turn it down.
He challenged my honor. I was fighting for the Hazuki name.
This is what
my dad would have wanted this.
As the episode ends, Shenhua repeats the prophecy, and we see Master Chen and Guizhang standing ominously on a balcony. They're important characters.
That's the only thing you can do on the balcony, honestly.
Yeah. I guess they're inside their warehouse.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember because it's been too long since we watched it, but I wonder if this show covers the awkward coded phone conversation you have with Guizhang before you meet him. Where you call the warehouse and he's just like, 9 dragons. And you're like, what? And then he just hangs up on you.
This show loves to have a close-up of Ryo's eyes, by the way.
Oh yeah, well he's got beautiful eyes.
It was so much that I noticed it. It stuck out because at the end of the opening, you have a close-up of his fucking eye, and then during one 20-minute episode, I think we're closer to his eyes 4 times. We're very close, or basically in his fucking eyeball.
We're falling into the deep, beautiful pools of his revenge-soaked eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Right. I'm sorry, I just scrolled down a little bit on Ryo's wiki page and I saw a GIF with the subtitle, "An example of Ryo's risky behavior."
Well, what is the example?
It's him when he's climbing up that skyscraper in China and across the wooden planks.
Oh, I just found the picture that is in Nozomi's room, but from the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I understand why I didn't recognize at least one of them, because he doesn't look fucking jack shit like him.
Oh, paste it in here. Let me see it.
I will paste it in here.
Oh yeah,
it's the guy in the front who just looks weird to me.
I feel like neither of them look the same in the show, actually. But the
one in the back does.
Okay, the posing's the same though.
Yeah.
It was close enough that I recognized what they were going for. I recognized the photo.
That's because you're a nerd.
Also, I guess in the game it's a Polaroid.
Yeah, it is.
And
yeah.
in the show it wasn't.
Maybe it was a stretchy Polaroid. You know, the famous 16:9 Polaroids.
You know what it is? It's because they've given that guy generic anime face in the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a condition.
Yeah. I saw that they've done that to Izumi as well. I'm very sad about it. Izumi's my Shenmue crush, but I'm not attracted to her at all in the show.
I like that is what you had to comment on. Observe in the first place.
I've been in love with her for 25 years. I noticed.
I think you need to move on at this point, buddy.
No.
Mike, she's not real.
Some say she's too old for me, but...
How old is she?
Well, she was 18 when I was 1. So...
Yeah, so how old is she?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I don't know my own age
Yeah, right? Anyway, we're not actually done yet.
Oh, God.
Because the ending, over the credits, there's a new ending thing which wasn't in the first episode.
Oh.
And there's all these nice paintings of Nozomi. And it involves a subplot that was left out of the show, involving raising a stray cat with Nozomi and the neighborhood kids.
I love the little cat in the game. It's so cute.
Yeah, you get to choose what to name it. There's only 4 options, but you get to choose one.
What are the options?
I only remember the option I chose, which was Mimi.
They're really nice pieces of art though on the credits of the cat and Nozomi.
Yeah, it's nice.
They are, but I didn't stick around to watch because I didn't care for the song.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, the song I could take or leave, but...
to listen to it again.
There's the one picture of Nozomi where it's her, and there's also like loads of Polaroid pictures around, and she's holding the phone, and the cat is there, and that's like every one of Nozomi's subplots rolled into one picture. And I think the good luck charm that she gives you at the end of the game is there as well.
Yeah, I think so too.
They just basically took everything that Nozomi does in the whole game and just shoved it all into one picture.
It's a nice reference.
But what about the dub? What was different?
What about the dub?
What was different? I'll tell you.
The voice actors.
The voice actors were different.
I didn't want to make that joke, but I really wanted to make that joke. I'm glad you did.
For some reason, Elder Ye has been renamed Grandma Yao. I don't know why. Because she's still called Elder Ye in the game, in English. And in the original Japanese, when Gawain gets his soccer ball back, he says thank you in Chinese, which is foreshadowing that he's Chinese.
Yep.
But in the dub, he just thanks him in English. So that's
Thanks,
kind of
mister.
lost. Yeah, I think that might be exactly what he said, actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's, at least in the game, I think it's, thanks, mister.
So yeah, that's it. Other than that, it's a pretty accurate dub. They did a good job with it. My only issue is that Rio is a bit too emotive, but that's true in the Japanese one as well. I like cardboard cutout Rio from the game.
I get why they made Rio more human.
Yeah.
More human.
It wouldn't be as funny in a show as it is in the game, I think.
No, and it would also makes like Shenmue as a game, and I feel like it goes for the animation as well, is for some reason just one of those hard to love kind of things where a lot of people just don't.
A lot of people don't click with it. Yeah.
Yeah, just don't click with it, don't vibe with it, don't whatever. So if you get this anime that kind of throws you in, and then you have this insanely awkward main character, I can definitely see more people tuning out a lot faster than currently.
It's a different audience for sure.
Yeah.
I always think if you love Mystery Science Theater, you'll love the Shenmue games. Because I feel like it tickles the same itch for me. I'm laughing at the same stuff.
I don't remember a lot of QuickTime events in Mystery Science Theater.
No, but I'm talking about the presentation. The acting. You'll love the acting. If you like Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah, okay, sure.
The acting's great.
I just don't I don't know. I like both properties,
exactly.
but I don't really see the link.
I don't know anybody who likes one and doesn't like the other. But I feel like if you don't like one, you probably won't like the other.
Okay.
We need to do some research on this. I don't know if this is scientifically sound.
Everybody who likes Mystery Science Theater, comment down below. And everybody who likes Shenmue, comment down below. And then we'll set you up and mix and match, and we'll make it a speed dating
If you
session.
like one of those things and you haven't seen the other, try the other and tell us if you liked it.
But then we're specifically talking about the game Shenmue and
not the anime. That's a different thing.
Yeah, so come back in about 60 hours after you've played through them.
Catch up on Super Breakfast Friends Club episodes you've missed. Kick back, take a lot of caffeine because you won't be sleeping for a while, and play 3 entire games.
Yeah. Maybe not the third one. The third one, I feel like they didn't. The third one's there when it comes to like the story and the acting. And people complained about the acting, but they had really big name actors in Shenmue 3 and they knew what they were doing. They're really good actors, so the fact that they're doing kind of a bad performance is clearly on purpose.
I mean, I'm convinced that everyone involved with Shenmue 3 who was also involved in the original 2 will really make a big deal out of it being so similar that it is like, a continuation.
Yeah.
Because it will be a lot weirder if you have this awkward kid in the first 2 games and then all of a sudden he's just like normal and everything is like acted very well. Like the awkward vibes from conversations and the little bit of weird acting is part of what makes Shenmue to me.
Exactly. And I think the part where they screwed up on Shenmue 3 is making the graphics modern. They shouldn't have done that. I think more people would understand what they were going for if they had made it look like a Dreamcast game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it that much because
Oh, I don't mind it. I just think
I think it's just the whole thing with Shenmue 3 is that it will always be a case of you either like this or you love this versus you don't vibe with it.
Yeah.
Just like with the first two games, just because of the nature of the game and the way it plays and what they want you to do. And I think everyone who's just online only bitching about the graphics are too modern or whatever. Not saying that like you belong in that group, but I'm just like, yeah, there's a gap of 20 years between the properties, right? Like between 2 and 3. So it makes sense that you don't have the exact same thing. It does have to move on a little bit in order to try and get a new audience in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also a 3 after Shenmue, and I feel like if you aren't aware of the first two, maybe you don't be surprised by the third.
That's the problem, I think, is that a lot of people came in at 3 and then they were like, what the fuck is this? And I predicted it. I said, like, before it came out,
but people always bitch.
I was like, as soon as this game comes out, there's going to be a lot of people who kickstarted it who suddenly get very upset when they find out that it's a Shenmue game.
Yeah.
Because I think Shenmue just became such a name. Like, people were waiting for Shenmue 3 for so long that it ended up... There's a lot of people who never played the first two who were like, yeah, we need Shenmue 3. It's been too long. I've never played the first two.
I think it's just a problem of it would never live up to any amount of hype, ever. It got hyped up too much, so it would always be disappointing to a certain amount of people.
Well, it was because of the years in between.
Yeah.
Like, the first one had never been available off the Dreamcast, and so few people had the Dreamcast that like, a lot of the people who kickstarted it had never played the first one. Because it just wasn't possible for them to play it.
Yeah. It's a hard game to recommend to people.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm glad you loved it.
God, I love it so much that I have a statue of Rio in my house.
Yeah.
Life size?
I mean, sure, I don't know how big he is. I guess I do because I read the wiki.
Yeah, but
I don't think he's like 20 centimeters tall.
All right, well, we should wrap up the show.
I think this is the perfect ending.
Does that mean that there's no legacy?
There's no legacy. There hasn't been another Shenmue release since this, so there's not been time for a legacy.
Yeah, my hope was that this animation would do well
and lead to a fourth game
and spark at least a little bit more, but it's dying out. I feel like I think recently Suzuki mentioned something about Shenmue 4, but I don't see it happening, to be honest.
No, I would love the story to be concluded. I want to know where it's going.
Even if they never make another game, because the story is there, it's written.
He wrote the full story when they made the first game.
Yeah, so I really hope that if the guy dies, which will happen eventually, because he's already old, I think. I hope they will at least bring out the rest of the story in like book form or maybe like just in some capacity.
Let's get some Shenmue light novels.
Yeah, like, fucking trashy romance books, sure. As long as I know how the story ends. Like, I just want to know how the story ends. Because after 3 games, and especially people who played the original games when they came out, you're still, you're invested enough at this point to want to know how it ends. So I do hope that somehow, at some point, we will get a conclusion to the story. Because even after the end of Shenmue 3, I feel like I'm not anywhere near wrapping up of any kind on the story of my papa's death.
I have more questions than when I started.
I would definitely say that Shenmue 3, I liked it, but it really doesn't feel like it moves the story ahead very much, if at all.
I mean, I think the end of Shenmue 3 is where I'm like, okay, we actually went somewhere with all this.
Yeah, the very end.
But it's the end.
Yeah, the very end, you finally actually But I guess you spend the whole game investigating.
Yeah, that's what that's what you call it. I call it wasting my time looking for Chobo-chan.
That's not wasted time.
That's true. It's the dream.
Are we ready to wrap up?
Let's end this thing.
Okay. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Do you want to plug anything, Steve?
The holes in my heart. No, I mean, I don't really have anything to plug. I could say I stream, but I have streamed in the past, and I might in the future, but currently there's not much happening there. I think you can find some older Shenmue VODs of me and Mike playing it on my YouTube, though. So if you go to YouTube and you search The Wonderspons, good luck. Then you'll find that there should be some Shenmue there. I found some remnants that I put up because it is fun to watch those things back sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's honestly it. Like I mean, you can find me on the internet as Wonderspons. Do with that what you want.
And you can find me on the internet as Skull Pirate Mike. I currently stream, although it's pretty sporadic and it's unplanned mostly. You can't find Mel on the internet.
No, I don't live there anymore. I moved.
Yeah, you got kicked out. You be honest to the people.
All right, so there were pitchforks, there were torches, they burned down my haunted castle. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Haunted website.
Yeah, your haunted castle got burned and now you're at Mike's place to take revenge on the lettuce.
No, you weren't supposed to let him know it was me.
Oh.
Yeah, he can't do anything about
That's
it.
okay. I know that the real haunting won't start until I add the chicken and the spicy sauce, so that brings all the
that's
ghosts.
just you haunting yourself.
Yeah, I know.
You're haunting your anus later.
Right. Your butthole's gonna be screaming about that one later.
You're gonna have a burning
I'm
beehole.
gonna have some anus kisses.
I hope this doesn't make it in the episode, I'm not gonna lie.
Mel sent me something about anus kisses earlier.
When you put it like that, it sounds not correct.
Now I kinda do hope this is getting in the episode.
Do you wanna explain it better, or do you wanna just leave it at what I said?
There's some art piece out there of a man who put lipstick on his butthole and then puckered it against some, like, napkins. It made anus kisses. But the video that came across my desk was somebody had made scarves out of this pattern, this butthole print pattern, and was selling it.
So you can walk around with buttholes around your neck.
Is it by Wim Delvoye?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Was it red and white?
Yeah.
Yes.
I found a puzzle of it.
A puzzle?
Yeah.
You can craft your own butthole kiss.
Oh my lord.
You can find us at patreon.com/Super Breakfast Friends Club, where if you'd like to support the show, you can do that with money. You can join our current patrons, Jamie Core, Mark Kelly, and Marley the Changeling. Sorry that your names are being followed up immediately after anus kisses.
I mean, you could cut that part.
I won't.
But now that you said that, you can't.
I won't.
I feel like you should kiss a kiss? No. Oh god. I'm going. I'm leaving.
All right.
Well, we lost Steve, but it's time to plug our coffee.
I guess we do have a coffee. Coffee.com/.
Yeah, you keep forgetting it. You don't plug it anymore.
Well, I don't plug it anymore because I feel like we need to have something on there. I'm going to put stickers on there. Mel designed some stickers. I designed a couple stickers. We're going to put them up there. You can get stickers at our coffee. But you can't right now because I haven't had the stickers made. But you will be able to.
In the meantime, dream of all the places you can stick things to.
Yeah, if you want to just send us a couple bucks in the meantime, coffee's there for you to do that. Maybe it'll motivate me to make the stickers.
To actually do something with it?
Yeah.
So you want your fans to pay you before you do anything with merch.
That's what coffee's for, right?
Yeah.
No, coffee is to keep me awake.
Well, it's clearly not working.
Oh yeah, fuck, I'm asleep. You're right, damn it.
This has all been a dream. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Don't dream of watching Landy kill Iwao. Unless you want that.
I do.
I'm gonna smooch that man.
With your butthole?
No comment.
Dealer's choice.
Mel, make some loud noises. Steve, make some loud noises.
Or do you need more?
Yeah, one more.
You always need more.
That'll do. Okay.
So greedy for our noises.
Fuck you, man.
Well, it's the only way that I can steal your voices and feed them to my AI.
Yeah, I'm gonna murder you if you
And
do.
then eventually I won't need you anymore.
You literally capitalize off of my noises.
I think I've only been on the podcast 0 minutes, but I'm gonna go on strike if you do.
Okay.
Oh no, what are we gonna do without longtime member Steve?
Every episode from now on, all of the audience is just going to be commenting constantly, "Where's Steve?"
They're the fan favorite.